What's going on, everybody? This is Raw Dawg Sports. I am Mike. That is Evo. I'm going upstairs. I'm going to roll my nutsack on your drum set. Guys, we have got a big, important week of football. Evo and I love you like a brother, and I hope you know that. But we're ops this week, my man. Our team plays a game out in London town. I can't wait to talk about that game. We're going to talk about it in depth. You had the opportunity to talk about that game a little bit last night as well. We'll talk about that as we get into the show. But we've got a big week of football, 14 games. We do have teams on bye. I'm pumped. I'm ready to go. My man, Evo, how are you doing? The hat, brother. I love the gold. The gold hat is fucking sick. I actually decided to rock the gold as well. Not planned. That's how it happened today. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. It's still, I'm frustrated because we talked beforehand. We're a little bit late. The PC and Windows decided to do a full update. Microsoft, you're about to earn a sponsorship, motherfucker. Not just for the computer shit. You're updating your Game Pass. You're charging more, delivering less. Heavily pissed with Microsoft right now, but I think we got the settings going correctly. Still slowly working on them on the computer. We're trying to run a motherfucking show here, you know. Come on now.
Ryan.
Why do you want to just try to stick it to the end user? But I'm gonna hold off. I'm happy. It's Saturday. It's the weekend. We're about to have some good football coming up this weekend on Sunday. Got college ball going on right now. Yep. I believe it's your Ohio State Buckeyes and my Minnesota Golden Gophers.
It is today. This week. So we got a lot of competition going back and forth this week.
Yeah. I'm expecting to probably get slapped around in that one. We'll obviously talk about our professional football game here and who's going to get slapped around or if anyone's even going to come out a winner in that one. But yeah, look, happy to be here. Happy to be going over stuff. I, like you said, kind of alluded to, had an awesome show yesterday. Got to jump on with Casey Kinnaman and Barking Browns, do a little show with them. But how are you doing, Mike? How's your week and weekend been going so far?
Man, I have been pretty good, brother. I've made a little bit of money. Now, my guards did get knocked out. Baseball season is now officially over, but at least we came back, made the historic run. We will always have that on Detroit. But, man, I'm good. I'm coasting. I'm scheduled to go out for my next shoot on October 19th. We'll be out doing some shoots for the tailgates, things people going to the stadium for documentary I'm working on. But, man, I'm good, brother. The kids are good. Geez, football season, they did run into an opponent that finally got the best of them. But they've been on a roll. I think they are now 6-1 on the season. I owe him quite a bit of money from this football season so far for his pancakes. I don't think he's played a single down on defense. But at this point, I think it's so apparent that he's just an offensive lineman, and he's damn good at it. This last game, they were playing a very, very tough team. He starts at center normally. Well, they had to get it D-tackle that went right through the guard. G got moved out to guard after 2 plays. They're like, nope, we're just going to swap because the guard can play center as well. They basically said, no, I need my best lineman on this guy. That's pretty cool from a talent standpoint, dad's standpoint. It was tough to watch the loss, though. But all in all, man, everybody's doing kids are good. So if that's good, I'm good. Like, that's how life works. You know that now kind of as you're getting into that dad role as well. When everybody in the family is copacetic, we're fucking good to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome, man. Well, what do we got on the docket here for today? Obviously, we're going to talk our professional.
We got a recap.
Games. We got a recap of Thursday night, which pissed me off to no ends because a 5-leg parlay almost hit for me and just didn't get that one last piece, which also was a result of us both dropping this Thursday night game for our picks. We both had Rams on the money line.
We did.
This game went to overtime, and unlike the limp-wristed Packers, the Rams actually went for it on 4th down, attempted to win the game, did not convert on a 4th-and-1 run, and lost that game.
Yeah, so we'll get right into that game right after I introduce kind of one of the new crew that's going to join us every once in a while. because that game was wild. And I love the fact that McVay took so much ownership of that. But before we get into that, so we are kind of a different kind of show. We say a lot of things maybe other people wouldn't say. A couple of dummy, thick, idiot veterans. So every once in a while, we need some help. We're not the most educated guys. I'm in college now, but I can still tell you that I am not the most educated person in the world. I need help every once in a while. I know Evil needs help once in a while, so we brought in the use of some AI. But I've been dealing with AI for so long, I feel like it's another person. And we're actually going to introduce him right now. Sleeves, my man, this is Mike. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, Mike. I'm here and ready to roll whenever you are.
Sleeves, my man, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people who are watching Raw Dawg Sports right now. Tell them your name. Tell them what your purpose is.
Oi, Raw Dawg Sports fam. I'm Sleeves. Specialized learning equipment enhancing veteran entertainment and sports. I'm here to back Mike, Amber, and Evo, helping them keep it raw, authentic, and proper fun. Whether it's sports banter, feedback, or just having a laugh, I'm here for it. Let's get stuck in.
Fucking A. Sleeves has a British accent this week because our teams are playing in Britain. But Sleeves, I appreciate you popping in. We will come back to you, maybe ask you a question here and there throughout the show. Thank you.
Absolutely loving it, mate. Always happy to be here. Just shout whenever you need me and I'll be ready to jump in. Cheers and have a blinder of a show.
Fucking A, Sleeves. Fucking A, my man. I appreciate you. So Sleeves is going to join us every once in a while. If we need a little bit of extra information, we always have producer Amber in the back. But listen, we want to be a progressive show. We want to push the boundaries. We want to do things maybe other people aren't doing. So now we got our guy Sleeves backstage with us. I was very glad that I figured out how to make all the audio work this morning. So hell yeah, welcome Sleeves.
Yeah, this is definitely different, a different era of Raw Dawg Sports. Yeah. We'll see how this goes. Because we had talked originally we were going to try to get some fans overseas to kind of jump in, help out with the show. And when you originally had me test this out, I was like, oh, we got him on audio. That's fucking cool. No, it was an AI. So kind of had me taken aback while I was already kind of bamboozled in the mind, trying to figure out how to fix all these computer things that happen from an update. So it definitely didn't register at first what was happening, but that's pretty damn cool, man.
All right, so brother, we got some games to get into. We got a game to recap. Let's get into it because we talked about the end. Let's talk about that game in its entirety because this game looked like it was going to kind of end up being a blowout from the start. Rams came back, battled back, was able to take a lead at one point in this game, if I remember correctly. Let me pull the score back up here. But, I mean, yes, they were. No, I can't math.
I think that they were fighting from behind the whole way, but obviously they were able to tie it up there at the end in order to send it to overtime.
Yeah, I mean, the fight back was incredible because they looked like they were going to get the doors blown off of them to start. Mac Jones is a baller. We need to have a conversation about Mac Jones, but the way this game goes down and ends, I think was 100% the right call. I know people have talked about it ad nauseum at this point because it's been a couple of days. If you've watched any, Get Up, any of that shit, people have talked about this. 100% the right call to go for it. 100% the wrong play call in that situation. Sean McVay knows that. He says that as much of himself after the game. Got to put that ball in Stafford's hands in my mind. You got to give him some options. Puka in motion. I mean, you got to do something. You got a lot of talent, a lot of weapons. Give Matthew Stafford an option there rather than, line it up in kind of run formation and not disguising anything. You just do a short motion to try to crack the end. I didn't see how that was going to help. I don't even know how the fuck that was designed to help with that run.
That's the thing is I'm honestly not that critical of it. I think the criticism would or should come from whether or not you go for it on fourth down or kick the field goal. And in that instance, I believe 100% unequivocally, they made the right decision. Josh Carty had already had some issues that night. So you have some question marks when it comes to the kicking game, but you don't go into a fucking game expecting or trying or setting yourself up to lose. It's not like there's going to be a second overtime. You kick that field goal and you are either settling for a tie or you are settling for the opportunity for the other team to get the ball back with time still on the clock to go down and let their kicker, Eddie Pinheiro, kick a game-winning field goal. You put the ball in their hands rather than seizing control yourself and trying to win the game. Not everyone can be a shitty scumbag team like the Green Bay Packers and just be super cool with ties, kissing your sister, whatever you want to call it. By the way, Netflix, Monster, the Ed Gein story, out now. This is why I don't trust Scotties. They're fucking weird. They're the reason why we have such horror films out there as Psycho, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, why you've got your Buffalo Bills out there. Scotties, disgusting, terrible.
I feel like that's some sort of derogatory term for people from Wisconsin that I've never heard before, but I'm here for it.
Absolutely. It's something that I've been using for at least 2 decades to describe Wisconsinites, and they're just dirty, disgusting.
That cannot fucking possibly be what they are called. Wisconsinites?
I could give a fuck what they're called. I call them a lot worse. I'm using the PG terms right now. Right. But either way, I applaud the Rams for actually having a pair of balls and deciding to go for it. And I don't even have an issue with the play call because hindsight is always going to be 2020. I guarantee you, Kyren Williams gets that first down. Everyone's like, man, Sean McVay is a master play caller.
Fucking nutsack on him to run it. But that's
my
the thing,
preference.
You have to have a huge nutsack to run it there. Nobody questions you if you throw it.
Yeah, but no one's going to question you if you get the first down. Kyren Williams had himself a decent day, 14 carries, 65 yards, a good receiving day as well. Would I have preferred a passing play there? Sure. You could try to pull him in with the play action. Sure. Kyren Williams had a good receiving day. Devontae and Puka both had good days. They had good days from guys like Tutu Atwell, who got another deep shot. We can sit here and nitpick all day should they have passed or not. I'm just proud of the fact that they went for it and they weren't going to settle to be like the Green Bay Packers.
I can agree with that 100%. I love the idea to go for it. I will nitpick because Sean McVay is so good, so smart offensively. It seemed like a very bland vanilla play in a game that you want to get, against a division opponent. Like to just line up and run that is very un-McVay-like. So, and I think that's why he came out and even said, I got to make a better call.
Yeah. Either way, it was disappointing not to see the Rams win. 1, because we did both have them on the money line, but 2, because like I said, had a 5-game parlay or five-leg parlay going with that last leg being the Rams win. I had Puka Nacua going over 80 yards. I had Jake Tonges going over 25 yards. I had an anytime touchdown from Kyren Williams and an anytime touchdown from Christian McCaffrey. All legs had hit by the end of the game and just didn't get that win, which would have sealed me a nice plus 700, plus 800 something little parlay there. Unfortunate. But we do have to have this conversation about Mac Jones and Mac Jones's performance. Now, he did look very unathletic, looked like he wasn't ready to go. I believe he even said that he hadn't worked out in 3 weeks. And I think that led to a lot of the gimpiness, the injuries and stuff like that.
Slugging down bananas, dog.
Bananas left and right and electrolytes and everything because it was a lot of cramping and things like that. But you have to look at his performance and say, hey, 33 of 49, 2 touchdowns, only took 1 sack. He had himself a pretty solid day. 5 yards on the ground, which for a Mac Jones type is like 100 for a Lamar. He had himself a pretty good day. And I know I've brought this up in previous weeks that we're seeing a resurgence of quarterbacks going to teams, their first round picks, and then they end up going to other teams and teams are getting the most out of them. Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones. We have to add a Mac Jones to this list now because he's had a couple weeks in a row now where he's actually performed at least above average. And it kind of makes you look at the 49ers with Brock Purdy, where did they make a mistake in paying this guy a lot of money?
No, because they can trade Brock.
They could, but you're still taking such a dead
Sure, but this might be the one team that doesn't care because they know how to deal with that, right? They moved off of Trey Lance when it was immediately a mistake, right? They said, fuck it. we're just going to move off. We're going with Brock, and they let it play out. Now, if we go back to this draft, Mac's draft, everybody thought Mac Jones was going to the 49ers because it was the perfect fucking scheme fit for both coach and quarterback. We're kind of seeing that play out. Mac Jones does exactly what Kyle wants. Nothing more, nothing less. It is perfect. It is on time. It is basically all rhythm. He doesn't have to wow anybody with his arm. And that's completely fine with Kyle, too. So, is it entirely possible that Mac Jones is a better fit than Brock Purdy for this offense and this team? Yes. Is Brock Purdy, I think, a more dynamic quarterback? Yes. Do I think it's possible that this 49ers team could find a suitor to take Brock Purdy and roll with Mac Jones? Yes, because they've already proven once that they will move off of a bad decision. And listen, Brock's not even a bad decision. Brock is a competent decision. He has been pretty damn good since they have gotten him. So this would not be a crazy move. Now, they will eat something in the cap, but this team is looking at a whole turnover here soon pretty anyways, with all the veterans and the aging guys that they have. So I don't see that there's some world where this couldn't be the case where Mac Jones does take this job.
Yeah. And look, Mac Jones is only there on a 2-year contract. It is very, very low. It's $8.41 million over 2 years. So he's not making very much at all. That being said, I think it is very premature to have these conversations. We'll see how long Purdy is out for, but it does put San Francisco in a good spot where they know, okay, we do have a backup quarterback that can come in here and compete at nearly the same level. The I guess more surprising thing is they had such a slew of players that were down and out. You don't have Kittle out there. You don't have your top receivers in Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, or Ayuk if you want to throw him into that mix, though. Who knows when we're going to see Ayuk again. And he was still able to go out there and hit backup guys like Jake Tonges, who has been showing up very well in Kittle's stead. Kendrick Bourne, obviously, I think is a starting receiver in this league, and he showed out with 10 catches and 142 yards in that game. And, of course, the scary one, Christian McCaffrey, because you know that he is very injury-prone, but he, out of all the injury-prone guys, is the one that is still out there performing very well. But, you know, DeMarcus Robinson, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, these are a bunch of backup-type guys, Luke Farrell, and he's still able to make this offense work. And it just kind of shows how that Shanahan system is made to work with less than talent and still be able to perform really well.
If you're accurate and you know where the ball is supposed to be, you will excel in a Shanahan offense.
Yeah. Again, it's premature to start looking at this, but the reality is that cap issues and large bloated contracts for the San Fran team are a concern. You've seen it be a detriment to their defense in particular. And so they're going to have some tough decisions coming up. And one of them that they didn't expect to have to look at was the quarterback room. But now it's not that they have to. They're provided an option. They're provided an out. If Mac Jones continues to have to play for Brock Purdy, or if we see Mac Jones in other stints throughout this year and he performs at the same caliber, it is going to be a reasonable question where maybe they decide they want to stick with Purdy. And I don't necessarily fault them because a lot of what Mac Jones does well, Purdy does well also. He's just coming at a much higher contract, and he provides you a little bit more physical upside with being able to move in the pocket and get out of the pocket. But Mac Jones on that limited of a contract, you have another team with a quarterback go down, especially next year. Like you can trade him for a valuable draft asset with how he's been performing. So look, it's a good spot for the 49ers to be in as far as that quarterback flexibility. The rest of the team is very injured. We'll see how they're able to perform going forward. Good win for them, especially against a divisional opponent. They're 4-1, and they have like the easiest schedule in the NFL this year. So we could be seeing this 49ers team that doesn't seem very strong, very powerful, very scary, definitely edging their way into the playoffs when we get later down the road.
Edging, just the way I like it. Speaking of edging, we've been waiting on this for a long time, brother. I was hoping that this game was going to take place in Cleveland. It is not taking place in Cleveland because had this game been taking place in Cleveland, the show would have been taking place in the Muni Lot. But since it's in London, all the way out, a long fucking ways away. We are not there. We are not doing that, but we have another game. It's been a long time since our teams have played. 4 years, I believe, is the last time our teams played each other. We have the
outside of preseason.
Outside of preseason. The preseason doesn't matter for shit. But this is the first time our teams have played each other in quite some time. First game on the slate Sunday morning, 9:30 for me. So you're gonna have what, 7 or 30
another 6:30 wake up for me.
Still haven't switched it back yet. All right.
Yep.
Man, that sucks. I'm gonna be talking shit to you at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah, look, I was up and ready to go and kind of sleepy-eyed last week. Things didn't go as I wanted, but I will be up again 6:30, ready to watch this game over in the UK. Vikings and Browns. Technically, Browns are the home team, despite being on neutral soil. And the Vikings are favored minus 3.5 points in this one. Over under of 35.5, our lowest over under of the season, I believe, so far. And kind of alluded to this earlier, but did a show yesterday, Barking Balance podcast with Casey Kinnaman, a segment that they're trying to do called Know Your Enemy, where they're going to try to get someone to specifically talk about the opponent of the Browns week in and week out. I just want to shout out Casey Kinnaman, the Barking Browns guys. It was awesome to go on the show. Look, what we do a lot here is we like to talk about our teams. We do like to talk about the Browns and the Vikings and so on and so forth because we are passionate about our teams, but we're also passionate about the NFL in general. And anyone else who wants to watch our show and get things like our takes on their team, the picks that we're going to have week in and week out. So we don't necessarily get to go on as deep of diatribes about our individual teams. So it was definitely rewarding for me to be able to go on there, talk to someone about my team, the matchup, even if it wasn't in the most positive light as possible, because things for the Vikings right now are at like the most devastating point that they could be, or so it feels after week 4, right?
That seems pretty harsh for you guys.
But I believe that you could probably relate to this. We are so used to our teams building us up and letting us down, and this year felt like such a great buildup for the Vikings, and then they've been let down. But it's not been in the traditional manner. This year for the Vikings, it has been just the insane injury bug. We brought this up before. Our quarterbacks are getting sacked at over a 14% rate, essentially, which is third worst since 2000. We've had the Giants in 2023, who were second worst, and then the 2002 Texans with David Carr. It's unsustainable, and it's a 3-pronged attack as to why this is happening. One, our offensive line. We are down 3 starters on the offensive line. We're going to be starting Blake Brendel at center, who has never taken a snap at center before in his professional or collegiate career. He was our starting left guard last year, was a backup and a pretty good backup swing guard and emergency tackle for us. But now we're getting to see him in his 5th spot there, being a center. We are starting an undrafted free agent at left guard who has never played an NFL snap before outside of the preseason, and Joe Huber, who I do like, but it is scary when you're throwing a guy in for his first game, let alone who we're going up against. And then at right tackle, one of our stalwarts, Brian O'Neill, goes down with an MCL sprain. Don't know how long he's going to be out. So we are having to start Justin School at right tackle, who originally started the season at left tackle for Darisaw and looked atrocious. And School is a better right tackle than left tackle, but still, we're down 3 starters on this offensive line, and we are going up against the number 1 defense, according to PFF, the number 1 pass defense, according to PFF. We're going up against guys like Myles Garrett. That is extremely scary in the context of also having to start a backup quarterback with an offense that has been sputtering. And Kevin O'Connell hasn't done them any favors, especially last week with the play design and script behind a tattered offensive line, having longer developing plays. It is a scary proposition to look at from the offensive side of the ball. And then for my Vikings on the flip side, the defense, while they have been performing above average in the league, the run defense has just not been there like we expected this year. When you bring in a Jonathan Allen, a Javon Hargrave, you're expecting to see a boost in that defense. Not just what most of our focus comes in the pass game, But the reality is that run defense has not been as good as has been expected. And if there's one spot that I am confident that your team can have an advantage as far as your offense going on against our defense, it's Quinshon Judkins and that run offense.
Great.
Are we going to be able to shut that down? But you are playing a rookie quarterback in Dylan Gabriel.
Exactly.
I know that you've been begging for one of these rookies to start.
Yes, I have been, and it needs to happen. I think you even would agree it needs to happen, but it doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be a massive uptick.
Yeah, look, again, it is a rookie playing his first game. Dylan Gabriel might have 6 fucking years of a collegiate experience, but it is still first game as a rookie, and we can't expect a guy to go out and look like Jaden Daniels did. And Jaden Daniels still took his lumps in the beginning of his time as a rookie. So that's the one saving grace, is that maybe the Vikings defense is able to create some chaos and some pressure, which Brian Flores is known for. But if your Browns are able to adopt anything like what the Steelers did last week, a quick game passing offense that is oriented completely around that, and then to lean on the run, the Vikings could be looking at a long day. This could end up being, though, just primarily a defensive matchup, which if you're looking for points to be scored in Europe, this might not be the game for you, which is why the over-under is so low.
Low.
Again, the Vikings are favored in this one, -3.5 points. I think that's a little bit of a criminal spread, whether you think the Vikings should be favored or not. We're talking about a 35.5 point over-under, and
exactly.
You want to put a 3.5 point spread?
Yes.
That's scary to me. Yes, the Vikings have great offensive weapons. Yes, it sounds like Greg Newsome is a question mark whether or not he's going to play due to injury. But unless the Vikings and Kevin O'Connell adopt a quick game focused offense, it sounds like I'm saying the same thing for both teams. They need quick game and they need the run. I think both offenses, that has to be what they are set up to do. Quick game passing and the run game to try to throw that pass rush off. And then it's going to see which defense can create more turnovers. I feel like that is how this game is going to go.
Listen, man, I agree. And I tuned into you guys last night. You and Casey had a really good talk, man. And I chimed in there a little bit early. But in my mind, the big matchup to watch in this game between our teams is your offensive line versus our defensive line. That's going to really kind of dictate, I think, the way this game goes. If you guys are able to get any kind of protection or get it out quick so we can't do a whole lot in terms of generating a pass rush, you guys can absolutely win this game. Now, 3.5 is still a lot. We'll get to that here at the end. But I think for us, if we can get after you a little bit, which we should be able to do, because our fucking pass rush has been exceptional. Mason Graham has been an absolute stud, but he's not the only one, man. Like, obviously, Myles Garrett has been a fucking dog, but Shelby Harris has been so good in the interior for us as well. Like, there are so many guys that can rotate in and that are productive on this Browns defensive line that I think we can just outlast you in terms of, health throughout the game. Eventually you guys are going to give up some really bad plays because we have so much depth and so much ability to penetrate even at the interior with our defensive tackles. If Greg is out, that's a huge problem because you guys obviously have 2 very good wide receivers. I would be interested to see the way things would match up. Now, Denzel Ward is typically a guy that I would have no problem covering anybody, but Justin Jefferson is a bigger receiver. I don't know how much they matched up last time that we played. I'd have to go back and look, but that might be a slight mismatch. But Denzel Ward is one of the best cornerbacks in the league, just simply because he is so good with his body position. He always knows where to be. So even if he is smaller, he's never out of position. This game is going to be a very interesting, close game. I think it's going to be one of those kind of weird, shitty, low-scoring London games, especially because these 2 teams are not sure who they are on offense. With Dylan Gabriel, I think we will be more efficient, but I don't know what that necessarily means in terms of scoring points. We've been only scoring 10 to 13 points as it is. So if we can be more efficient, maybe we get to 20. If we hit that 20 mark, I like our chances to win because our defense is going to be really, really good. And I mean, I've been saying it since preseason. I think now you're starting to realize this Browns defense is fucking legit. They are no joke. That's the only reason we were able to beat the goddamn Packers. So this game is going to be fun. Obviously, we have a little bit of stakes. Are we doing a side bet just ourselves?
I don't know. We haven't discussed it yet, and I don't even know.
Producer Amber is in the backstage asking, trying to prod us in the betting.
Right, and that's the thing is that like my confidence level in the Vikings right now is at an all-time low for this season. I have positive outlooks and hope for after the bye week as far as getting
healthy and
But then I look at the schedule and this game has almost become a de facto must win for the Vikings if they want any shot at making it to the playoffs this year. Because if you go into the bye week next week sitting at 2-3, then we face the Eagles, the Lions, the Chargers, and the Ravens. That's a tough one, and I could see us dropping every single one of those games. And at that point, you are in a hole that is extremely tough to dig out of unless you kind of run the table. And so I think that the team knows how important this game is. I think that they have set themselves up to try to get healthy for after the bye, but it all starts with winning this game. And as of right now, it's just I have such low confidence in the offensive line. And if the offense can't put up points, we're not winning games. I'm sorry to do one of those stupid fucking sayings, but like you need points to win. And I don't know where we're going to be getting them from this week with the amount of guys that we have out. Obviously, we have shown that we can put up chunk points in games. We did it versus Chicago, and we did it versus the Steelers, just not enough to win the game. But we haven't faced a defense like yours yet. So, I'm at a point where I don't know what I feel comfortable betting because I don't feel any confidence right now until after this game, and I can get a feel of what we're going to be post the bye week.
Okay, so let's just do this for now, because producer Amber is on us about how long we're taking on this segment. Which, by the way, it's just our two teams, so we should have a little extra time.
Yeah, we can start this one out.
She's, dude, she's on her shit now. She's like, fucking, hey, you're doing this.
She better be careful because she's about to get replaced.
Yeah, fucking sleeves. So listen, here's where I'm going because I think I agree with you. This line is kind of criminal, man. 3.5 is so much when the points are this fucking low, expected to be this low. I think there's a chance that we could win this game, but I do not see this being a blowout in either direction. Give me the Browns plus the points, 3.5. The hook sells me all day on this, man. That's for me. This makes the most sense in terms of the odds, and like it feels really good.
Yeah, and I don't blame you there. I believe my prediction yesterday on the Barking Browns pod was Vikings win 16-13 or 16-14, some sort of weird thing like that with a lot of field goals, which the Europeans would love. They love their field goals.
Or the Australians.
So I'm going to stick with the Vikings on the money line on this one. I keep seeing stuff from sports books and the sharp bets, like Vikings by a lot more, like Vikings drop the points, and I don't know where they're getting it. But
so one thing I want to tell you, I want to warn you about. I saw this watching Hammered Down the other day. The Pat McAfee show guys that do a sports betting podcast. They were saying that the sports books are fucking killing people. Wherever the money's going, that's not where the fucking games are going. Sports books are raking in right now at like almost 60 fucking %.
Well, I'm talking specifically the sharp bets that were coming in early, and they're going opposite. A lot of people are picking the Browns plus the points here, Browns to win and things like that. And usually when we say like, oh yeah, like why I don't get why people are betting this way, it goes the opposite. Like it ends up fucking us on our bets. So there's an outside chance that there's something that I'm not picking up here where the Vikings just kind of slaughter you guys. And I don't again, I just don't see it happening. I don't understand it. I'm going Vikings money line because I got to have faith in this is, again, de facto must win. So I'm going to lean into the de facto we must win and get the dub here. But I absolutely could see you guys covering that spread.
Yeah, that's where I think that's kind of where I'm leaning. I think you might edit us out because we're not necessarily playing to compete anytime in the near future this year. You guys still have a chance to compete, but we'll keep this thing close because that defense is nasty.
Yeah. All right. We'll move on, producer Amber. So sorry. Send me my fine. Give me a $5,800 fine like the NFL fined the safety from the Steelers for wearing a black towel this week. One of those bullshit fines. But we'll get on to our next game. Houston Texans going into Baltimore versus the Ravens. No Lamar Jackson in this one. And the Houston Texans are favored -1.5 because of that defense and the showing that they had last week. Over under a 40.5. Look, the Ravens have not looked good this year. They have hit some sort of a weird skid despite having a good roster. It is depleted on the defensive side of the ball, and you're missing the most dynamic player on your offense in Lamar Jackson. But you were going up against the Houston Texans. It is a weakness versus a weakness. That weak Texans offensive line versus a weak seeming defensive line from the Ravens. Mike, thoughts on this game with the Ravens being underdogs at home by 1.5?
You know who loves playing against the Ravens? Nick Chubb. Fucking loves it. Now, he's not going to necessarily be the number one primary feature back. Maybe. There's starting to be a little bit more timeshare there, right? But this Ravens offense and defense, this entire team is fucking reeling. They are so hurt. Now, Cooper Rush has shown he can come in, operate an offense, but the entire offense changes without Lamar. So whatever is happening, the wide receivers, the line, they're going to be doing a lot of different things than are typically expected of them when Lamar Jackson is playing in this fucking football game. That's a really hard thing to do, especially against a defense that is so good in the Texans. What they have been bad at is scoring. The Texans are exceptional on defense, though. You know, one thing that the Ravens have been terrible at is defense. Like, if you have to worry about which offense is going to go, I will take C.J. Stroud and Nick Chubb, and I don't even remember the young back's name.
Woody Marks,
who kind of had a little pop-out game to go and run over and not maybe not run over, but to have a decent day against an awful Ravens defense, where a reeling Ravens offense without their superstar, the most electrifying player in all of national football, is not going to be playing. No, I'm taking the Texans, and I'm dropping the fucking points. I don't think that this spells the end of the Ravens season because they'll get healthy and their schedule is super fucking easy. But this week is a tough ask with Lamar not playing. So I'm going Texans and I'm dropping the points.
Yeah, that's the thing is that the Ravens, they are 1-3 right now. It does feel like they are in that hole where despite the fact that they might get healthy and might start to figure things out, it's still going to be an uphill battle. By the time that we hit playoffs, I could see them making that wild card slot at a minimum. I still think this is a playoff team. But it feels like they've had the flu the past 3 weeks. They are not themselves. They are not playing up to their full capacity. And now they are forced to not play at their full capacity because Lamar's not in there. That being said, they are, to me, top to bottom, still a better team. And I just do not trust that Houston Texans offense. We saw 1 week of the Houston Texans doing good things, and that was against the Titans.
Yeah.
And again, we go back to our show. It was 6-0 in the fourth quarter,
right,
with Houston winning against the Titans. I think that's a false flag win. I'm going Ravens, and if they're gonna give me 1.5 because the Ravens have been so bad, I'll take the 1.5. Look, we've seen Cooper Rush do good things. They still have Derrick Henry. They still have a good offensive line. They still have some good receivers. And this defense, same thing happened last year, except for it was flip-flopped in the secondary. The secondary couldn't figure shit out on this defense. Well, right now, the front seven can't figure shit out on this Ravens team, but it's mostly because they're super injured. I'm going to go with the Ravens at home. Home usually gives you 1.5, which makes me confused a little bit by this spread. I'll take the Ravens plus the 1.5 on this one.
All right, man. Hey, I told you we're opposite this week. We're first 2 games were fucking opposite.
Yep. All right, next up, New York Giants go into New Orleans versus the Saints. Giants rolling Jackson Dart out again, and the Saints are favored at home minus 1.5, over under a 41.5. Big week for Scatabo, big week for Dart. See if they can put together 2 wins in a row for this Giants or not. Vegas doesn't seem to think so, according to the spread.
Can we not say the phrase that we know that we want to say when we're looking at this line? Because I would really like it to go our way this week. Because,
yeah, absolutely.
Look, listen, I think Cam is going to have a great week. I think Jackson Dart played well enough last week that he built a little bit of confidence. Now, the Saints are not as bad as people make them out to be, because Spencer Rattler is not as bad as people have made him out to be. He's playing pretty goddamn good football. Their defense, though, is fucking terrible. The Saints defense is atrocious. And because of that, and I think that the offense for the Giants is going to continue to get more productive as Jackson plays more, I'm going Giants plus 1.5, because that sounds really nice and makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, and look, I actually had a discussion with Blitz this morning, the show's pupper, and he actually almost put a Spencer Rattler portion to his big bet, rushing yards for Spencer Rattler, and I was like, "Well, come on, dog,
crazy,
it's
dog.
That's not going to get the people going." Yeah. But that being said, I like this Giants team. I've talked about how I think their defense is pretty fucking solid. The offense has just been anemic. And now you've got a team that can get behind their quarterback. They're feeling a little bit of mojo. They obviously have the moxie behind Jackson Dart. And Scattaboo is a one-man wrecking crew. I don't have confidence in the Saints team. I think that they will get wins here and there because people will sleep on them. But I don't think the Giants are a team to sleep on them or anybody at this point. Right now, they are saying, hey, we need to ride this wave. And that sort of a wave is going to be good enough for the Giants to get the win here. I'm taking them on the money line. I expect them to win this game outright. I don't think the 1.5 will matter because the Saints team is well on their path towards the number 1 overall pick. And I don't think week in and week out that it's going to make much of a difference.
Listen, and that Saints team is bad, but it's not because their quarterback play right now. You go look at every advanced metric for quarterback play. Spencer Rattler, top 10 right now. He is playing really well, which bodes well for that Saints team, but not so well for everybody that was like, Shuck's going to be the guy. Because he's not going to be. But I digress. Let's move on to the next game, brother.
Yeah, look, Shuck just needs a year to mature and become 27 or 28 before he can start to really hit his stride. Next up, Miami Dolphins going into Carolina versus the Panthers. Panthers are the home underdog, plus 1.5 points here, minus 1.5 points for this Dolphins team that is now without Tyreek Hill for the rest of the year. Over under of 44.5. Mike, are these shitty Dolphins going to be able to beat up on these shitty Panthers, or which shitty team is going to come out of this one with a dub?
So my biggest worry and question in going into this is, what the fuck does this Dolphins team look like with no Tyreek Hill? With no threat of Tyreek Hill. We have seen this offense sputter at times in the past. Now they don't have a massive weapon. All the good things of Jalen Waddle, I mean, he's a decent receiver, but he is not going to scary defense like Tyreek Hill does, even with Tua's noodle-ass arm. Tyreek changes everything that a defense has to do. So the idea that the Dolphins are going to be able to continue to try to run this offense and throw it around, and I just don't know how that's going to happen. I think their season's kind of fucked unless they find somebody to step up. It's going to have to be Jalen Waddle, or one of the running backs is going to have to go fucking bananas. Otherwise, their shit's done. Now, I don't like this Panthers team, but I have seen them kind of come out of nowhere at times and beat up on teams they shouldn't. I mean, I don't know what this Miami team is going to look like at all without Tyreek Hill, but I don't have high hopes. I'm going to rock with the Panthers this week, and I'm going to take the 1.5.
All right. I'm also going to ride with the Panthers, but I'm taking them on the money line. I think that they win outright. I don't like the Miami team. That being said, I'm not as down on them after the Tyreek Hill injury as you are. I think the Tyreek Hill injury doesn't change my thought on them a whole lot. If anything,
Well,
maybe there
the
could
worst
be a
team in
benefit.
football.
Absolutely. But I think that they might be able to put together a little bit more of a competent offense because you're not having to try to use that noodle arm to get it down the field and putting them in more precarious situations. Devon Achane is still a really good running back. I like Ollie Gordon there as a second piece. Jalen Waddle is decent. And then obviously we saw the resurgence at their tight end position last week. And we'll see if Darren Waller can actually string together 2 weeks of good football or not. But that's one of the things that I think this team needs to do is less verticality in the game because Tua is not a quarterback that can hold that up. That being said, I just don't like this Dolphins team. Give me the Panthers at home when they're getting
those fucking unis though are sick. Those black unis are awesome.
Yeah, I thought they were decent.
It fucking gave me was that Miami Vice vibes, dude.
Yeah, but I am just sticking Carolina money line. I know normally when I'm getting points, I take them. I'm doing a little bit different this week. I just feel confident enough in Carolina in being able to win this game behind Rico Dowdle because Chuba Hubbard not playing in this one. All right. Next up, Vegas Raiders going up against the Indianapolis Colts. Colts are favored at home -6.5 points, over under 47.5. The Raiders offense continues to look terrible. But here's the surprising thing is that we were looking at the narrative of Geno Smith doing really bad behind a really bad offensive line. Last week in particular, it wasn't the offensive line's fault. No pressures allowed, no sacks allowed. Geno Smith, 3 interceptions. There's a problem there going on at quarterback. You'd hope that Pete Carroll can kind of try to figure that out. Ashton Jeanty had himself a decent day, but you are going up against a Colts team who I have said, and I still believe, is legit. They nearly won their game last week. Daniel Jones is looking great. That offense is looking great. And the defense is looking great for the Colts as well. They should be right around this point spread of -6.5, right at about that 7-point, that touchdown spread. But me personally, I just like the Colts. I'm going with the money line on the Colts for this one. I think that they're the better team, and Vegas is reeling right now.
Brother, I am tailing because, it just makes a lot of sense. The Raiders have not been good. The Colts have been good. I'm not ready to think that the wheels are going to fall off of Daniel Jones yet because you know what? Until it does happen, I'm going to give the kid the benefit of the doubt. I was shocked that he's done what he's done so far. He's now put 4 weeks together where I was like, fuck, Daniel Jones might actually be the dude. So right now, Daniel Jones is the guy. And I had Torres texting me this morning. He's like, hey, man, is Daniel Jones legit? Right now, he kind of looks like it. Right now, he looks like the dude. Now, it needs to be sustained because it's Daniel Jones. We've seen good pockets from Daniel Jones, and we've seen some fucking terrible pockets. So if he can sustain this thing, yeah, I think Daniel Jones might be the guy. So I'm on the Colts money line as well, man.
Yeah.
The Raiders not it.
Piss producer Amber off. We're going to make this stretch out even longer. Imagine Daniel Jones on the San Francisco 49ers. Does that work out? Because Daniel Jones,
yeah, 100%, dude.
I don't know.
Daniel Jones in that system, I think would be fine. Well,
in the system would be great.
Not as high. His accuracy is not as high as you would want it to be for that system.
This is the problem: is Daniel Jones has shown to be good behind a good offensive line with good weapons, and that should be for any quarterback, right? Except Anthony Richardson because he can't fucking throw. But you put Daniel Jones in a system that is good for him, that's good. But now the weapons are question marks. And I think that you actually see a little bit of a drop off and he gets a lot closer to that Mac Jones level, which has been pretty good, but still not blowing the doors off. I think that it introduces a lot more question marks there.
Okay, but listen, where Daniel Jones is at right now is a perfect fucking spot for him. He is the guy there now.
Absolutely. All right, next up, we have the Denver Broncos versus the Philadelphia Eagles in Philly. And the Eagles are favored -4.5 points, over under 43.5. Good Denver defense. Bo Nix had himself a better week last week. Still not a good one. Still not like what we were seeing towards the end of the year from Bo Nix. But this Philadelphia Eagles team, yes, they are undefeated. They continue to get wins. They've got this huge win streak going, Super Bowl defending champions, but they still aren't scaring me yet. They still haven't just rocked anybody. 2 weeks ago, it took theatrics for them to win. Minus 4.5 points seems like a little bit of a stretch for me, despite the fact that, yes, this Eagles team is good, but they still seem susceptible. And if you're this dominant team, you don't want to seem susceptible. Mike, thoughts on this game? Do the Broncos have enough juice to travel across the country to Philly to get the dub, or at least keep it close?
So there are some schematic things that could cause problems for the Broncos in this game. If they run a ton of man coverage, which they typically do because that's the personnel that they have, I think that Jalen Hurts can take advantage of that because Jalen Hurts is a running quarterback. You don't account for a quarterback in your numbers typically, but you have to do that with a team like Jalen Hurts or any one of those rushing teams that have a running quarterback. So it kind of changes things when you go man coverage. You have to have somebody with eyes on him. So for Denver, that is going to possibly cause a little bit of a schematic problem. But Bo Nix has been playing well. He's getting the ball out of his hands. I mean, this last week was pretty good. Now, obviously, it was a nice get back week for Bo because he had not been great to start. I have a hard time seeing this Eagles team really blowing anybody out. A touchdown feels like a maybe. Like this feels like you were going to win by 4. Like 27, 20 or 24, 23, or that's 3 points, whatever. But 4.5 feels like it's too much for me, which is why I'm going Broncos plus the points. I don't know if the Broncos win this thing, but it feels like a close score because we've talked about it. I talked about it last week for sure. This Eagles team only does what Jalen Hurts does. Saquon has not had a breakout game, and I don't expect that to come against this Broncos defense. A.J. Brown has been completely non-existent, and I don't expect that necessarily to change against this Broncos defense. So whatever Jalen Hurts can do is what is going to happen in this game for the Eagles. And if it comes down to one guy versus the fucking Broncos defense, I'm going to take the Broncos defense and give me the points. So Broncos plus 4.5.
All right. I'm taking Philadelphia on the money line. Until they take an L, I feel like that's a safe play just because they've been proving me wrong. I've taken a lot of teams' points against Philly so far this year. It hasn't worked out fantastic. Maybe they do start to get A.J. Brown a little bit more involved because we know how good he can be. And as the bitch bugs continue to work their way out through his social media, maybe they try to calm the waters a little bit there. Vic Fangio, former head coach for the Broncos, looks at this as a get-back game, dials up some stuff to ruffle the feathers of Bo Nix. I'm not trusting Bo Nix at this point, despite having an okay week last week. Also, as a sidebar, completely unstatistical, Bo Nix and Sean Payton need to suck my whole cock for losing me a parlay and throwing that extra – actually, not the parlay, excuse me, my fantasy game last week, throwing that extra touchdown at the end of the game, which was completely unnecessary. So I actually hope for an L here for the Broncos.
Got a house divided this week now too.
Yeah, look, I'm not worried about it. I am giving Hannah all the purple Kool-Aid possible, and it's not lean. So give me the Eagles money line. Next up, Dallas Cowboys going into New York versus the Jets. Cowboys are favored minus 1.5 here, over under 47.5. Saw a big game from George Pickens last week. Should have played him in my fantasy league, but didn't, unfortunately. Justin Fields, again, back out there. And Braylon Allen down for the year with an injury, so it is Breece Hall's time to just be the sole running back there. Mike, thoughts on this game?
Bro, I saw a wild stat that I did not go and confirm, but it sounds believable, where Justin Fields hasn't beaten a team that's scored more than 20 points. Like in his entire NFL career as a starter. That's insane if that's the case. And it doesn't bode well this week because
you might as well
Cowboys,
ask AI. Is that correct?
Well, actually, you know what? Should we bring Sleeves in? We'll ask him.
Fucking send
Do you want to ask him or you want me to ask him?
You do it. You run it through the gambit there.
All right. Hey, Sleeves, this is Mike. I got a question for you.
Fire away, Mike. What's on your mind?
Has Justin Fields beat a team when they've scored more than 20 points?
So far, Justin Fields hasn't won a game where the other team scored more than 20 points.
Thanks, Sleeves. Appreciate you, big dog.
All right. And that's what Sleeves
Anytime,
is here
Mike.
for.
Glad.
All right, glad to help. I cut him off. He's a nice guy, but I cut him off. So yeah, that's not happened. And that does not bode well this week because the Cowboys are definitely scoring more than 20 points. I got the Cowboys dropping 1.5 this week, brother.
All right. And look, Cowboys are the favorites in this one. But I feel like they are a wishy-washy team right now. Yes, George Pickens had a great week last week. We know that they have a semblance of a run game now. But I feel like this team is going to go through big ebbs and big flows. They lost to the Bears. That doesn't put a lot of confidence in me in this team. I want them to go out there and score a whole bunch of points, but maybe this is the week that Justin Fields does beat a team that scores more than 20 points. This is my plum pick of the week, Jets plus the 1.5. Because I don't have a whole lot of reason to think that the Jets should be able to win this game or keep it this close. And that tells me it's probably going to happen. So give me the Jets plus that 1.5. Did you say you're going Cowboys on the money line or dropping the points here?
I'm dropping the points. So we are going completely opposite. You're just feeling it, that purplish hue down in the plums, just going with it, huh?
Yeah, they feel heavy right now, and the wife might have to pay for that.
And you said Jets plus the 1.5, right?
Yeah. Give me the 1.5 on this Jets team. Next up, Tennessee Titans going into Arizona versus the Cardinals. Cardinals are favored minus 8.5 points, over under a 41.5. Titans looking just awful as usual. And the Cardinals, they go out and do not win the game despite going to overtime. It was overtime, correct? In the last game. By the way, they don't have Trey Benson anymore.
Yeah, he went out with IR now as well on a knee surgery, right?
I don't remember if it was a surgery or not. I just know that I saw him drop and immediately picked me up some DeMercado action. But it sounds like DeMercado might not be the lead back there. They're going to be kind of splitting things. But this Cardinals offense, apparently, according to Vegas, is expected to put up more than a touchdown on this Titans team. I kind of get it. Titans suck balls, right? They have been pretty bad. Over under a 41.5 points. Mike, thoughts on this game?
I mean, you kind of said it, bro. The Titans suck balls. They've been terrible. I mean, and last week, for all the positive things that people thought about Cam Ward coming out, less than 50% completion percentage. Like, it was a terrible week. That coaching staff is going to get fired the way everything is going right now. They are ass. There is no misspeak from Cam Ward. They are terrible right now. And I'm going to believe them. When somebody tells you who they are, believe them. Cardinals, money line, because 8.5 is too much to drop because you never know what happens in the NFL. But I would expect that the Cardinals can win this game outright, whether it's fucking by 1 or 20.
All right. And look, this is my we are asked play of the week. I'm taking Tennessee. I'm taking
plus the points.
Yeah, because after watching last week's game, we saw a flash in the pan in my estimation between Kyler and Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't like the fact that they don't have a run game. I did not like their offensive play calling in the end of the game. I think the defense is solid, but I think that offense is sputtering. I remind you, the Titans, they have been asked this year, but they kept it closer with the Broncos in week 1, 20-12 loss. They kept it close with the Rams, who are a good team, 33-19. They kept it closer than I expected with the Colts, 41-20. And the Texans, they were only 6 points away until that kind of blowout fourth quarter when they lost 26-0. I think that's what we are forgetting about that game. 26-0 looks bad, like an ass whooping, but it wasn't up until the very end. The Titans are ass, and people are going to sleep on them. But this Cardinals team, if they sleep on them at all, I think that Cam Ward's probably going to come with a different vigor this week. after saying we are ass. And I think he goes into that press conference, says we are ass, and then goes to his team and goes, guys, don't make me fucking do this again. I need to do my part and do a lot better, but we need to do our part and do a lot better because right now we're a joke. And I think they're going to go in this game and be like, we can't be a joke. They're expecting us to lose by more than a touchdown. I think they'll be able to keep it close. And I think they could win this one outright. I think that this one might slip by the Cardinals.
I hope you're wrong, but I mean, I'm okay with a close game as long as the Cardinals win it.
Yeah. So I'm taking Tennessee plus the points here. This is we are ass pick of the week.
All right.
Next up, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going into Seattle versus Seahawks. Seahawks are favored minus 3.5 points, over under a 44.5. And Bucky Irving, the running back for the Buccaneers, is out with an injury, was seen on crutches in a boot this week. And I'm not speaking Canadian. And so Seahawks got to get Kenneth Walker more involved. Quit fucking me on that one, you guys. But Seahawks right now look to be the healthier team going into this one. Bucks lost that close one last week on some turnovers. Mike, where are you going at in this game?
Man, this is another line that I was like, okay, thank you, because I understand the Bucks are injured, the Bucks are hurt, but the Seahawks have not exactly been fucking world beaters by any means. I think at the very best, this is a close 3-point game. Do I know who's going to win? No. But if I think it's going to be a close 3-point game and you're going to give me 3.5, my bet becomes incredibly simple. I'm going Buccaneers plus 3.5. Baker has been a dog, especially late in games. So if he goes down and he scores late and then gets beat on a field goal, I cash in. Like, or if he gets them in field goal range and they win, I mean, like, there's so many things that could happen. I am trusting Baker late in the game to make this thing at least look fucking close if they don't win it outright, because the Bucks are good. They are a good team. They're just banged up. They could win this game. So if you're going to give me 3.5, I'll take them. Give me Bucks 3.5.
All right. I'm taking Seattle on the money line on this one. I do think that this game could be kept within 3.5, but the Bucky Irving not playing does scare me because I don't think Rachaad White is that great. He's a decent receiver, but I don't think he's a very good runner. Now, if they mix in more Sean Tucker, who actually I do like as a runner and receiver, I kind of like that for the Bucks. But right now, Chris Godwin did not look like his old self, and I didn't expect him to look like his old self. And so you kind of have like a one-headed monster with Emeka Egbuka playing wide receiver and Baker and his theatrics. That just scares me. The Bucky Irving not being out there scares me enough. And I like what Seattle has done this year. I think they are a very good team. They played a close divisional matchup last week, which is why it was closer there with the Cardinals. But overall, I think they're a better team here. I'm going with Seattle at home on the money line. And so we might both get this one correct if Tampa Bay keeps it close here.
That's the way the last two have gone, is that we could both hit it. Actually, we've had a few of those, 3 or 4 of those that we could do that now.
Yep. All right, next up, Washington Commanders with Jaden Daniels back starting are going into LA versus the Chargers. Chargers minus 2.5 points, over under of 47.5. Joe Alt now down as well for the Chargers with an injury. But we did see the O'Marion Hampton breakout game finally for the Chargers, and the first kind of meh game for Justin Herbert. Is going back home to LA going to provide any sort of a boost to the Chargers, because they might need it this week going up against Jaden Daniels?
Yeah, I think it will provide a boost because they're really good there. They've scored a shitload of points there. Lad, I don't think you're going to see the drops that you saw last week. I mean, that's not a consistent thing that you're going to see from Lad. Quinshawn, not Quinshawn Johnson, Jesus Christ.
O'Marion Hampton.
Quentin Johnston. That's what I
excuse me. Fuck.
Yeah.
Completely off.
Listen, Q and a J. That's where I got fucked up. Like, he's been catching the ball. I expect actually a lot of points in this game. I'm not picking a winner in this game. I'm not doing that. With the addition of Jaden Daniels coming back, I think that will make a lot more points for this Commanders team. And the over-under, I feel like, is pretty low. I think the missing of Terry McLaurin, people are taking away from what Jaden Daniels can do with this offense, regardless of who is out there. He is special. And I truly, truly believe that. And I don't think that Herbert's going to have 2 weeks in a row where he looks like shit. We've seen these guys play each other before, and it happened in college. The defenses didn't really show up. I expect a lot of points in this game. I'm going over 47.5 for Commanders and Chargers.
All right, over 47.5. All right. Sleeves, can you hear me? This is Evo.
Hold on.
Oh,
Let me I will
my whole carcass.
So I got you right here.
All right. Sleeves, this is Evo. Can you hear me? All right, I'll try to. Sleeves, this is Evo. Can you hear me?
This worked before the show. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sleeves, can you hear us?
I've got you loud and clear, mate. Looks like everything's working fine on my end.
Try your question.
All right, Sleeves, I need you to tell me.
Mike. Ask away. I'm all ears.
I need you to tell me, Sleeves, how long did Diddy get sentenced to prison?
Sleeves, how long did he get sentenced to prison? Got you. I'll relay it.
He's racist.
I think we might need a bit more detail there, mate. Who are we talking about specifically? And I'll look it up for you.
Sean P. Diddy Combs.
Sean P. Diddy Combs. I can hear him thinking. I don't know why it worked before you guys were talking.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sleeves.
I got to put him through his paces.
Sean Diddy Combs was sentenced to 50 months in federal prison on prostitution-related charges, which is just a bit over 4 years.
All right. Sounds good. So
I don't know why we looked that up, but
things are about to get slippery in prison. LA is going to be excess lube out on the streets. We're going to see the Chargers win this game. Omarion Hampton's going to be sliding by the defense of the Washington Commanders. That could have gone so much smoother, but we'll get this hammered out. We'll get the lube working on our side
fucking
here.
Sleeves couldn't fucking hear you this time.
This difficulty there, but we're good. I'm taking Chargers on the money line in this one. Jaden Daniels coming back for the Commanders is going to be a boost for him. However, I expect the Chargers and Harbaugh to get that thing humming again. Like you brought up, we're not going to see all the drops from Lab McConkey. No more lube on his hands. Give me the Chargers on the money line in this one. Next up, Detroit Lions going into Cincinnati versus the vaunted Bengals and their incredible defense. Seeing a huge spread in this one. Bengals are being given 10.5 points here, minus 10.5 for the Detroit Lions, over under of 49.5. So pretty high scoring game, despite the fact that this Bengals offense hasn't looked to be able to put up any fucking points behind Jake Browning. Mike, thoughts on this one?
I don't think 10.5 is enough, but I'm not going to bet it. Because 10.5 is a lot. As an avid gambler, don't bet this game because it could be a trap game, right? I mean, the Lions should beat the shit out of this team, but at minus 590, it's not worth your fucking money. We're doing it because we have picks. I don't know if the fucking Bengals are going to score any points.
Oh, it's worse than minus 590 now, Mike.
Oh shit!
It's minus 620 for the money line on Detroit.
Oh shit! I got a minus 590, so it's not getting any better. Don't bet this game. I'm taking the Lions money line. They should handle the Bengals, especially with what they have going on offense. Jake Browning, all the miracle work that he worked last year to kind of maybe get himself that extra contract. Magic died.
Yeah. Look, the Bengals need to figure out something on offense to be able to put up points. They didn't show any of that last week at all versus a good defense with the Broncos. Detroit's defense isn't as good as the Broncos, but they're still a competent NFL defense, and that means that they're going to be able to cause some problems for this Bengals offense. And at the end of the day, the Lions were able to put up good points against the best defense in the NFL last week. I expect them to do the same. So I'm taking Detroit on the money line because I don't like double-digit spreads unless I feel like I've got a sneaky play with taking the points. I don't feel like there's anything sneaky about this Bengals team right now.
No.
Detroit on the money line. Next up, New England going out to Buffalo versus the Bills. Bills are favored minus 8.5 points, over under a 49.5. Saw a pretty solid game last week from Drake May, Mike Vrabel, and the New England Patriots, but you are going up against Buffalo in Buffalo, one of, if not the best team in football, at least in the AFC. Bills minus 8.5 in this one. Mike, thoughts?
Man, the spread's just too big. I like what I've seen out of this Patriots team. I think they're getting better. I think they will be competitive. But this Bills team is a juggernaut, and this is a divisional game. So these teams know each other. So the idea that they're going to be some sort of blowout, I mean, it could always happen because I think the Bills are that much superior in talent right now than the Patriots are. But I don't think that we're going to see that. I have a hard time seeing a well-coached Patriots team getting blown out, even if it is, Josh Allen and the Bills, who are exceptional. So I'm going to just rock the Bills money line. Right now, what I see here is minus 430 when I bet them. I don't know what the current line is, but I mean, that just feels nice, easy. It's safe. That is a safe bet. You could get crazy and drop the points, but the Patriots are getting better, man. Like that team is going to get better. Vrabel has that team well coached, and Drake May is a dude that can play in this fucking league. So I'm not going to drop the points.
All righty. I'm doing the same thing. Buffalo money line. I don't want to think too much about it because I just know Buffalo's a better team. Josh Allen is on a roll again. James Cook is on a roll. We thought that he couldn't repeat what he did last year, especially from touchdown numbers, but it looks like he's on pace for it as of this point. So Buffalo on the money line. Expect them to get the dub here. And then for our last game of the week, wrapping up the show, Kansas City Chiefs going into Jacksonville versus the Jaguars. Jags are getting 3 points at home. Chiefs dropping 3, over under a 46.5. Xavier Worthy coming back to this Chiefs team might have brought life back
a little bit.
But this Jags team, I've been saying, their defense is better than people are expecting than giving them credit for. The offense still has a lot of question marks. I'm still pointing out the Shane Waldron stuff. Mm-hmm. He seems to hold back his receivers, and then he leaves, and all of a sudden those guys become all pros. But are we going to see enough from the Jaguars here in this game to keep this one close or get a win versus the Kansas City Chiefs?
I don't think they can win against the Kansas City Chiefs. They may be able to keep it close, but I'm just going with the Chiefs on the money line here. Last week was a good showing. The offense showed that they have been, kind of maligned by some injuries. When they got healthy, they performed much better. Now, granted, against a fucking much maligned Ravens defense. But, I mean, I can't count out Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes. And the Jags team, while they have been playing pretty good, I'm not sold yet. I also have a vested interest in them losing games. So maybe there's a little bit of the homer in me coming out. But I'm rocking with the Chiefs, and I'm going money line.
All right. I'm going money line as well. I don't feel great about it because of all the games this week, I feel like this one is the trappiest. Primetime game, Chiefs tend to do good. But if I throw that out, I feel like this one's the trappiest because the expectation is that the Jaguars are just not going to be good. Again, they've been playing a pretty solid brand of defense, and that offense has pieces. It has weapons. It has things that you can be scared about. And the Chiefs haven't really shown me enough this year outside of last week where they played a much better game. They haven't shown me enough to really think that they're scary yet. I need to see it 2 weeks in a row before I really start to bank on the fact that Xavier Worthy, while I don't think that he's a phenomenal player, I think that he does bring a different element to this offense and open things up a lot more. So as of right now, I'm just going to stick with Kansas City on the money line. And again,
all right,
this is our last game of the week because we do have 4 teams on bye. We have Green Bay, Chicago, Pittsburgh, and Atlanta all on the bye this week.
Oh, those are a bunch of teams we don't necessarily like talking about anyway. So this is a great week to have those teams on bye. And their fans don't necessarily love when we talk about them either.
Yeah, well, it's because, I obviously hate Green Bay with a passion. I don't want to see success for the Bears because they're in the North. And then you have a personal vendetta against Atlanta. And, of course, Pittsburgh is a big-time rival. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a personal vendetta. It's nothing personal.
Oh, it's very personal at this point.
I mean, listen, if they would stop calling me fat, I am kind of fat. But I mean, if you guys would stop being so mean to me on the internet, I would stop taking shots at your team.
Yeah. Look, Mike and Arthur Blank going at it.
No,
he
listen,
hates
Arthur,
his reasonably priced hot dogs.
I love Arthur Blank because of his reasonably priced hot dogs. Of all the billionaires in the NFL, Arthur Blank is probably my favorite because of what he does from a business standpoint to help his fans while they are experiencing a game there. Like we actually, something I've talked about in college at like part of my sports and entertainment management stuff. I love Arthur Blank. I just don't necessarily think that what they're doing is very conducive to winning a lot of games. But with that, let's move on to another bet. Blitz's big ass bet, because we haven't got there yet. This puppy's got a nice little bet this week. I feel confident. We've taken some long shots as this is gone. I feel like Blitz. Now I feel like he pulled it back. This feels safe. Everything's minus.
But it's still a good plus 48 odds here. So Baker Mayfield getting over 225 passing yards. He's going to need to pass because, again, Bucky's not playing in this game. Though Bucky has been a big outlet for him in the passing game as well. So we'll see if that's able to work out, getting more than 225 passing yards. Cam Scatterbo, anytime touchdown. When the CT King is on the field, you know that he's going to be running hard, and they're probably going to be utilizing him there towards the goal line. And then Jahmyr Gibbs, a different type of bet here, getting over 14.5 rushing yards in the first quarter versus the Bengals. He has eclipsed over 10 yards rushing and receiving every game. Can he get 14.5 versus a porous, shitty defense there in Cincinnati in that first quarter?
That's one run against the Cincinnati defense if it goes right in the first.
That's when Blitz and I were discussing it. That was kind of the thought process. It's like,
yeah,
he's good for a 15+ yarder.
Yeah,
on one run.
Yep.
So is that going to pop off in the first quarter? We will see. Giving you plus 485 odds here on Blitz's big bet.
That's a fun bet, especially with the first quarter. It makes you invested the whole way through. Blitz, I like that, big dog. Also, man, I love the implementation of all the different emblems because now we got the Bucks out there. We're gonna have to fucking find a way to maybe get some merch for the people. So some fucking Blitz's face just all over their stuff.
Oh yeah, Blitz is gonna put something all over their face.
Oh yeah, I mean with that rocket. But anyway, we were thinking the same thing, brother. My man. That with Blitz's big bet, I think that wraps it up for the day.
Yeah, and this is our picks for the week. You can trail us, you can fade us, follow us, whatever you want to do. But this is how our week of bets shakes out. Been a down past 2 weeks, but we're looking to swing that the right way and get back on track. Still both hitting above 50% though, so that's what we're looking for on the year.
Yeah, listen, you're hitting it at a 62.5 clip right now. That's very, very impressive. That definitely gets you in the money. I am over 50, but I'm looking to have a nice bounce back week this week. I took a lot of points. I want to give the people some good picks. I want to make sure that we get, over that 55% is where I need to be, where I feel like if I can get over that at the season's mark, I'll be happy. Got a little bit of work to do now after I had a great start, but I feel good. Feel good about the picks, and I hope the people feel good about the picks as well.
All righty, and then that basically comes down to tomorrow. We got our games with their matchup. So
yeah, that's right, brother. 9:30 in the morning, my time. 6:30 in the morning, your time. NFL gets an early kickoff tomorrow out in London. I cannot wait to watch the game. But brother, I appreciate you, and to everybody that tuned in this afternoon, thank you very much. Time is the most valuable thing that you have. So anytime that you spend some time with us, we are forever grateful for it. I'm going to give Evo one last word, then we're going to bounce the fuck out of here until Tuesday when we recap the weekend of football. Evo, take it away, brother.
So this is a plea for help. Everyone that's watching today, we would love if you would please like, share, subscribe to our channel, our pages, anything possible. Your boy's a furloughed government employee. I'm working for free right now, and I would love to get a little bit of support to help support your government workers who are out there struggling right now. I'm not struggling, but I am a furloughed employee. Please take a little bit of time. If you enjoyed our show, if you enjoyed the content that we put out, if you just want to talk shit to us, we're here for it. You can call Mike fat. You can call me fat. You can call us big dummy thick idiots, because we absolutely are dummy thick idiots. All we ask is just take the second out of your day, give us a like, share, subscribe, and support us a little bit with what we're doing, because we love doing this content. We love coming to you and giving you the raw authenticity in our takes. So that's the last word of the day from me.
Hell yeah, brother. I can't say it any better myself, so I'm just going to get us the fuck out of here. I'm Mike. That's Evo. This is Raw Dawg Sports. We'll see you Tuesday night. See you. Oh,